الفيديو ده بيتكلم على deviation of triangular glass prism, deviation of light by triangular glass prism. ادي عندي triangular glass prism. This angle is called apex angle or angle of the prism A. يبقى A angle of prism or apex angle or refractive angle. This angle of the prism, apex angle or refractive angle. This is a normal drawn on the face of the glass prism. This is an incident ray fall on the glass prism. The point of incidence at the position of this normal. The angle subtended between normal and incident ray is called phi 1. Phi 1 angle of incidence in air. This phi 1 angle of incidence of the ray in air. This ray is a refracted ray for that incident light ray. This ray is refracted ray. Theta 1 angle of refraction in glass. This angle theta 1 angle of refraction in glass. Phi 2 angle of incidence in glass between the normal and refracted ray. Phi 2 angle of incidence in glass. This ray will be refracted emergent to the air. This is an emergent ray. The angle theta 2 angle of emergence, angle subtended between the normal and the emergent ray, theta 2 angle of emergence. This is an extinction of the incident ray in air. This an extinction of the incident ray in air. This is an extinction of the emergent ray in glass. Alpha here angle subtended between the emergent of the incident ray and the emergent of the emergent ray. This angle phi is the angle subtended between emergent of incident ray and emergent of emergent ray. Angle alpha, angle of deviation. Angle alpha is called angle of deviation. The angle confines between extinction of incident ray and the extinction of emergent ray. This alpha is angle of deviation subtended between emergent of incident ray and emergent of emergent ray. angle A, this angle, equal theta 1 plus phi 2. Angle A, apex angle, equal theta 1 اللي هي angle of refraction in glass plus phi 2 اللي هي angle of incidence in glass. يبقى الانجل A angle of the prism equal theta 1 اللي هي angle of refraction in glass plus phi 2 اللي هي angle of incidence in glass. alpha angle of deviation alpha equal phi 1, which is angle of refraction in glass, plus theta 2, which is angle of emergence, minus A, which is the apex angle. Factors affecting angle of deviation alpha. Factors affecting angle of deviation alpha. Number 1, angle A اللي هي angle of the prism. Number 2, phi 1 angle of incidence in air. By increasing angle of incidence, angle of deviation decrease. يبقى الفاكتورز affecting angle of deviation alpha الانجل A angle of the prism. Number 2, phi 1 angle of incidence in air. By increasing angle of incidence, angle of deviation decrease till it reach minimum deviation. Then by increasing angle of incidence, angle of deviation will increase. يبقى بالنسبة للانجل phi 1 اللي هي angle of incidence in air, by increasing phi 1 angle of deviation decrease till it reach minimum deviation. Then by increasing phi 1 اللي هي angle of incidence, angle of deviation will increase. Wavelength of the incident ray. At minimum deviation, angle of incidence in air phi 1 equal angle of emergence theta 2. يبقى at minimum deviation, angle of incidence in air phi 1 equal angle of emergence theta 2. يبقى phi 1 equal theta 2 equal phi node. ده at minimum deviation. يبقى first condition of minimum deviation phi 1 اللي هي angle of incidence in air equal theta 2 اللي هي angle of incidence in glass equal phi node اللي هي angle of incidence in case of minimum deviation. Angle of refraction in glass theta 1 equal angle of incidence in glass phi 2. Angle of refraction in glass theta 1 equal angle of incidence in glass phi 2. يبقى theta 1 اللي هي angle of refraction in glass equal angle of incidence in glass اللي هي phi 2 equal theta node. Since A equal theta 1 plus phi 2 يبقى إذن ال A equal 2 theta node لأن ال phi 2 at minimum deviation equal theta node with theta 1 at minimum deviation equal theta node. يبقى at minimum deviation A equal 2 theta node. يبقى theta node equal A divided by 2. Since alpha angle of deviation equal phi 1 plus theta 2 minus A، يبقى الألفا نود اللي هي الانجل of minimum deviation equal 2 phi نود، لأن phi 1 equal at minimum deviation phi 1 at minimum deviation phi 1 plus theta 2 يبقى equal 2 phi نود minus A، يبقى phi نود equal alpha نود plus A divided by 2، يبقى at minimum deviation phi نود equal alpha نود plus A divided by 2. But N refractive index equal sine phi نود divided by sine theta نود، يبقى N equal الفاي نود، قلنا N الفاي نود equal alpha نود plus A على 2، الفاي نود equal alpha نود plus A على 2. الفاي نود equal alpha نود plus A على 2، والثيا نود equal A على 2.